the chat. The two comments that I've got, or the few that I've got, they give, engineers give solutions that can be adaptable to the situation. So that's a great point. Some countries face the problem of traffic engineers, roads, traffic signs, public transport. What's your opinion on this issue? Oh, thanks very much. I'll leave that to the Q&A. So we've got two good questions that we can leave to the Q&A. We'll keep pressing on because just want to fit the time frame we were allocated. So we've got about 10 minutes left to finish up and answer some questions at the end. So this one is all about engineering skills for life. So if you had to pick one or two skills that you've gained through your engineering education and career, what would you pick? And we can start with Faraz. We'll go backwards this time. What are your two skills that you feel have given you the biggest benefit?
When you study into engineering and you enter into this career and work, you get to learn many skills. I believe that the most important skills are the communication skills and the creativity, because you need to figure out always, solutions are not always easy, and you need to figure out when solving a problem to get out with a creative solution. And in order to reach this creative solution, you need to communicate with the teams that you work with. So it's not about a method of getting a solution from one individual. It's about communicating this solution with the team you're working with, and in order to get like innovative, cost-effective, and a well-designed solution. So I guess when you study and enter into this field, you get to learn the skills, how to lead on projects, how to have a good management, how to communicate well with your team, and how you can reach to a cost-effective and put like some critical reasoning in order to secure that this is the best solution that you are providing.
Oh, spot on. No, thank you. And Alyssa, if you had to pick two, what would you pick? There might be a few double ups in this round, but that's all right.
Yeah, I would say similar to Faraz. What was that? So the teamwork, I would say that's the number one skill, because as an engineer, you definitely won't be working by yourself. You'll always have a team around you, or you'll have to work with other disciplines. And then secondly, it's the ability to break down a bigger problem into smaller problems. And surprisingly, that skill is good for engineering. It's good for life as well. You might have several things on, but the ability to prioritize and break it down into smaller problems and then solve each one methodically is a really good skill in both life and work.
Yeah, great point. I think that, life and work translation is really a key one to note. Ben, what would your two be?
On top of what Faraz and Liz have already said, which are really important, I think the ability to compromise. We're given problems we need to solve that have budgets, that have applications that impact on our ability. So in a perfect world, we would design X, Y, and Z, and it will be perfect. But we have to compromise on that and innovate to find like a solution that fits the requirements. So that ability to compromise and then look for innovative ways to solve the problem translates really well into just general life. And then probably that ability to use information and data to make decisions. So, we as engineers, we get given so much information and data that we need to be able to pass and understand and then create meaningful information from that. So that ability then obviously translates really well. But on top of the teamwork and that ability to be creative are really important.
Yeah, no, those are all great points. I like that. I think the creativity one is important. In engineering, sometimes you think there's a very set way to do it, but having a creative mindset as well can really help. And Ben's point on data, coming from a place of data decisions, I think that's spot on as well. I've found that I've been able to make some tough decisions with justification, and everyone that I've had to make that report to, has been fine with that because of the data behind it. We'll head now to, I did have a Q&A. There's 2 questions and well, 3 questions that we'll answer now, and then we'll close out at the back end with some last comments and examples of you can go away and do outside of the session. So the first question, is which aspect should be given the most importance in becoming an engineer? So I might just, I'll ask one person each of these questions just for time's sake. So maybe Alyssa, if you had to say, what's the most important aspect that you might have to think about when becoming an engineer?
I'd say attention to detail is a good one, and we've touched on that, and Faraz has touched on that. Other important aspects is probably like dedication to the profession as well, because there are I would say easier engineering courses, but there are the culling courses and the really hard ones like thermodynamics and maybe higher level maths and physics that you do need to get through in order to get your engineering degree. So I would say dedication as well. So don't think that you can't be an engineer, because there are some, harder aspects of it. There's an engineering or different form of engineer for everyone who wants to be an engineer, in my opinion. So definitely the dedication would be a very important aspect. So stick to it if this is something that you really want to do, but just know that it will be challenging at certain points as well.
Oh, great answer. Thanks, Alyssa. I might ask this one for Ben and Firaz to share because of your backgrounds. So some countries face problems of traffic engineering, and that's in terms of road traffic signs, public transportation. And it asks, what's your opinion of this issue? Maybe why do you think those countries face those problems? Firaz, do you want to go first?
Yeah, the issue of traffic jams and is not related to one country. It could be in developing countries, and it could be in countries which are not well developed. The thing is that because of the cultural behavior that we all use our private vehicles, that's one. And number two, that there is not proper investment in the public transportation. And that's why back in 2015, the United Nations issued the Sustainable Development Goal number 11, which speaks about sustainable cities and communities. We all need to have our cities inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. And we need to push our governments, local governments, to have sustainable and green transportation systems, like having dedicated lanes for the bikes in the sidewalks, like giving incentives for those using the public transport, whether students or employees. We need to have to free our right-of-ways, our road right-of-ways from vehicles, and to give more space for the public transports, whether light rail, buses. This will help in solving the problem of traffic jam. And to add on this, sometimes the problem is due to the management of the traffic, and you need to have a proper management of the traffic in terms of signals, proper timing of the signals, and having removing all the obstacles all over the road, and having traffic calming measures and issues like this.
Oh, excellent. Thanks. And Ben, just in the interest of time, I might ask you the other question and we'll go forward. To get a job in engineering or to study engineering, do you have to be good at maths?
Not necessarily. I don't believe that you have to be good at maths. You can learn maths. Melissa touched on, I think it's about being dedicated to wanting to do it and putting in the time and effort to understand it. And that really relies on having a passion for wanting to be an engineer. If you're passionate about wanting to be an engineer, you'll overcome the obstacles of where you may not be strong in maths, you'll overcome that because you really want to do it. You'll be dedicated and you'll find a way through. So no, you don't have to be good at maths. It just helps if you are, it helps if you are, but you can still do it without it.
Yeah, I agree with that. No, spot on. All right, we're at the back end here, so we'll leave. We might just go around the grounds and leave a closing comment. Mine would just be, thanks so much for everyone's time. I've provided a link here, and there's a Dream Big movie that's been produced. It goes for about 45 minutes, and it's a really good watch for those that are interested. I'll skip forward just for those on the call that this is the challenge code or the activity code, so they can all start entering that while Ben, Alyssa, and Faraz, if you get 30 seconds each to close out. Ben, do you want to go first?
Yep. I encourage everyone to follow their passion, find what they want to do. Engineering is a really rewarding discipline to work in. It's something new and challenging every day. So if it's of interest, I really encourage you to pursue it. And if you look up Interesting Engineering on YouTube, they have some really interesting things across a real diverse range of the engineering disciplines that could be interesting to people.
Excellent. Thanks, Ben. Alyssa, did you want to go next?
Yeah, so thank you everyone for tuning in. By tuning into this at such a young age, you're already, ahead of other people in a similar age group because you're already showing, a passion or an interest, a potential interest in this space. So yeah, I hope to see a lot of you in the engineering industry, in particular the aerospace industry, which I really like. So yeah, and I think as a start, if you're still unsure, just do your research on, different universities or different high school subjects that you might be able to do that can streamline your career into the engineering pathway.
Excellent. Thanks, Alyssa. And finally, we'll leave and close out with Faraz. So Faraz, take us home.
Thanks, Colin. Engineering makes a difference to those most in need. That could be by making our buildings safer after natural disasters, by developing new technologies to detect and to treat diseases, and making sure that that those in the most remote communities can access food, water, and energy. This would be my closing remark on this. Thank you, everyone, for attending.
Thanks, Faraz, and thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.